Morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, it could be an interesting day today with maybe a record number of Americans watching TV and the drama in Washington today. Some people think that it'll reduce the volume of trading in commodities and stocks until that is all over. The other thing we noted was that Congress and the President expected to sign a stopgap measure to fund the government through December. The government was going to shut down on Monday if this wasn't passed. So it was passed by a large majority both on the House side and the Senate side. We also note that we got export sales today. Again, the trend over recent is that the beans and wheat has been below the pace to meet the USDA's export numbers, while corn has been above. That seems to be the trend. Yesterday we saw a big sale to Mexico. They're supposed to take about 6 million tons of U.S. beans this year. We saw 1/10 of that in one trade. And so some people wondered if that was an organized thing from one seller to one buyer. And there's been some talk about can Mexico ship beans to China from Mexico. So we'll kind of see if any of this happens in kind of a roundabout way of China getting beans. It was noted that China has imported a record amount of 12 to 14 million tons of Brazilian beans for October and November arrival. Last year they did 9. Between 2010 and 2015 they averaged about 3 million tons during that time frame. So you can see the step up purchases, and probably one of the reasons why we're hearing that Brazil might have to buy U.S. beans to offset all the record amounts they're sending to China. And the China News Service said that they're trying everything they can to have farmers plant more oil seeds and increase production and limit the amount of beans that they have to import to feed to the hogs. Besides the weather, we also are looking at 3 weather events across the Midwest over the next week. One late next week could bring soaking rains for the Midwest that could slow harvest. But initially, yields are huge for soybeans and suggests that down the road the U.S. is probably going to have to, number one, USDA is going to have to increase our crop size and also our carryout from an already record number. Corn, kind of variable, pretty much in line with expectations, and it feels like farmers are willing to sell beans on a rally, but trying to store corn and take the carry into 2019. The funds bought beans, meal, and oil yesterday, sold some corn and wheat, still short about 50,000 beans, 95,000 oil, long about 30 meal, short 70 corn, and about even in the wheat going into month end, going into tomorrow's USDA September 1 stocks report, and going into the rest of the harvest and all the stuff that's happening in Washington. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM Investor Services, and have a safe and profitable trading day.